a chick. So say goodbye to everything you ever knew before. And I'd understand if you went running out the door. And I'll keep you safe, and no harm will ever come to you, I swear. And I'll kill if they even dare. I'll kill, I swear.
Hello.
Hi, Your Highness. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Oh, thank you all. Oh, thank you all very much.
You been busy?
Yes, so busy.
Me too.
Oh, my God. It's gorgeous out.
Oh.
Colors are stunning. I went to see the Dollop with my cousin Amanda.
Was that fun?
Live. It was amazing.
Nice.
They cracked me up. We had front row center, and Amanda was thrilled. It was
Those guys are funny.
It was perfect. Got their
I like
autographs.
'em.
It was fantastic. Maybe someday we'll be on stage.
So you are Mary, Your Highness? You are Your Highness.
I'm Your Highness.
Oh, I
And
am.
your boot.
I am Boot.
Is that how you
That's how I
you introduce each other?
identify myself.
Step
Yes.
number 1?
Yes.
Cool.
Step number 2.
Welcome to Michigan Murders Music, where we discuss murders in our gorgeous state. Top it off with a little homegrown music, leaving you with a happy ending and on a good note.
Thank you for letting us seep into your ears.
That Halloween earwax.
Mm-hmm.
It's all candy, sugar-fied and stuff.
Oh, kids love it.
Mm-hmm.
So do adults.
Are your fingers still sticky?
Yeah.
From trimming?
Yeah.
Trimming for days?
Yeah. We're done.
It's harvest time,
We're done.
guys. Oh, let me light one up.
Her Highness was up until like 4 o'clock in the morning just last night.
I wanted to get that shit trimmed and over with and ready to smoke.
Oh, I am so pleased because I had been doing it almost all by myself, but, you know, she had her helper come in.
It's a great way to bring your family together.
Yeah.
Weed. Bringing families together since
And now it's
70s.
done. It's
We
done.
have new listeners and new followers, Boot.
Can I name some of them?
I don't know. Can you?
Well, let me see. We have, I like this. Bootlegger, 1970.
Hey now, bootlegger. Easy on the name there.
Oh, no, he's justifying it. Mm-hmm.
My Life 388.
Patty Ann.
Tesla Club SoCal. Dude, they did frunk or treating with their frunks.
Yeah,
I'm such a Tesla tramp.
yeah, I like the big white van thing.
You're creepy.
Now we have Dunkin' D's Donuts. I wish I could have come up with that name. I love
Dunkin'
it.
D's Donuts. And finally, we have Moby 313. Going back to Boots' van, I wanted to put our creepy bunny costumes on and use his great big white van and write candy on it and blood and hand out trick-or-treats to the kids.
That would have been hilarious.
First, we're new to the neighborhood, so I was kind of like, yeah, it's probably not the greatest idea. If they knew us, it'd be a little better. But we're new, so not a good idea. Secondly, we live next to a fucking cop.
He's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
He's a really good guy.
He's a cop.
So?
And if we're trying to hand out candy from a murder van, I don't think he's going to appreciate the ironies so much
Your
as we
Highness,
do.
Can I give an explicit content warning?
Oh, you better.
Oh, shit was... Oh, I mean, stuff was...
Oh,
yeah, okay.
just do it.
Explicit content warning. Her Highness will use foul language, and I might too.
Bitch,
She pretty much will offend adults, and it's not appropriate for the young virgin ears of the inadvertent listener.
They're only virgins if they're Marys.
Hide your kids. Just hide
Is it
your
trick
kids.
or hide? Throw them out the back door if you're driving. Just be like, dude, I got to listen to this. You got to go. Walk, catch up with me.
Also, I caught Her Highness doing something sneaky.
Oh, shit.
So
Oh,
here's
no.
part of the explicit content warning, number 2.
I don't know what's coming.
.2. If you sneak out of work early to go get a tattoo and then some rando friend is there and posts it all over everywhere while you were trying to sneak in a new tattoo and not
What?
get caught,
Nobody does that.
you're busted. Now you have some splaining to do.
Now you have to buy me a new tattoo so I can fit into that scenario.
Well, that's
you
not
just
on
fucked
us.
yourself.
That
We
is
do not have tattoo insurance unless it's a Michigan Murders and Music tattoo. Dude, represent for us. That'd be fucking great. I wonder how many people got Taylor Hawkins tattoos.
I don't know, but I kind
I've
of want a
seen a
Michigan Murders
ton.
and Music tattoo somewhere.
I don't.
I could do it.
I kind of feel like it's a little narcissistic.
It is very.
We would like to keep our podcast commercial free and independent by Boot Productions. The
That's a
website's-
thing?
Yeah. Yeah,
I like
it
it.
is. Thanks.
Boot Productions.
That's our legal name, yo. You guys, we have a website. It's under construction right now, but you can go to Patreon. You can go to Redbubble, and you can go buy us a coffee. And I will leave all the links in the description below.
I like coffee.
Boot, our new design,
Mm-hmm.
is exactly what I wanted.
Well, you went back and forth with the designer about 1,000 times until he finally got it right.
The first
The poor
designer
guy.
couldn't get it right. The second designer is amazing. We shall call him Illustrator Roger Schultz.
He is pretty amazing.
He's fucking fantastic. So there's a new design out. It's amazing. It's in the shape of Michigan. Oh, buy a sticker. Go to Redbubble. Buy a sticker. Represent us. And I'd like to thank Illustrator Roger Schultz very, very, very much for doing the work for us. You can see him at the Grand Rapids Comic-Con.
You can always see him
coming
somewhere.
up.
He's
Yeah,
doing that
he's
stuff.
always doing some sort of horror film, Comic-Con stuff. It's great. Check him out.
Mhm. Do us a favor and share us with your friends and follow us on all the places: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Yeah.
And what is that Red Bull thing you said?
Red Bull? Redbubble.
What is
So
Red
that is
Bubble?
that is our new printing company, our ship on demand company.
Okay.
So you can go there and order t-shirts, you can order posters, we have stickers available. Our new design is on there, and so are our old designs. We just want to try a new company and see if the merchandise was a little better.
We need higher
basically.
quality is what we need.
We're looking for good shit.
Mhm.
Yo, that's what we're looking for. All right.
Your Highness,
What?
who is this band that we are featuring this
Low
week?
phase
Low Phase.
with a PH.
That's how you spell phase.
Not if you graduated where I
Oh,
graduated from.
Right.
Fantastic alternative rock, indie pop punk band. I think you guys are going
It's
to
good
enjoy
stuff.
them.
You
Can you
wanna
throw
see?
up that hand?
You want to see?
I want to see. Where are we going to?
Right down here.
Right here.
Right at the border by Indiana. Mm-hmm.
It's really close. It's called Niles, Michigan.
Niles, Michigan.
Yeah, Niles. It's actually due east of Chicago. So if you just swam across Lake Michigan
Oh, yeah, you'd get there.
in a straight line, and then
Yeah.
you just walk
Then you
inland
can go shopping at
for
their
a little bit.
Michigan Mile or
Yeah,
whatever they
you can
call
just-
it.
It's fine. It's not cold. The water's nice right now. Okay, boo. Tonight we are talking about Patrick Gilham, prisoner number 704228.
Located at St. Louis Correctional Facility, Michigan.
His earliest release date is October 29.
Date of birth was 9/5/1954. He was loaded with tattoos,
Dude,
making
his Otis page is so long. Because they have to describe every single tattoo on you. I never thought
sure.
about that. So if my brother ever gets put in jail, his page is going to be, it's going to be 8 pages long.
Oh, when I
'Cause he's
joined
got
the Army,
5,000 tattoos.
they wanted to log every detail about you,
I couldn't believe it.
including tattoos.
I knew they did that, but it was like, this is the first guy who's had so many that I was just like, holy
Yeah, it'll take about 5 days.
Holy shit. Are you done rustling your papers?
No.
We're going to Niles, Michigan with a population of 11,600 in 1985, which is when we will be road tripping back to. The latest census actually shows that less people are living there now by a few thousand.
Niles is where Terry and Roxanne made their home. The couple lived on a country lane in a home they had lived in for about 2 years.
Yes, and they did not have any children.
They were trying, you know.
I mean,
they were-
they probably were, but they weren't. Roxanne worked as a customer service representative at Automatic Molded Plastics Company And she was active in the local Junior Achievements program.
Which is pretty cool. You know,
We
kids.
still have that?
I don't know, but my friend did that, and it helped him.
It was
a
great.
lot. Yeah,
I was wondering if it was still
it's a business thing for
if it was still up
kids.
and out.
Yeah.
And honestly, I really don't know what Terry did for a living.
February 20th, 1987. Roxanne Wood and her husband Terry had a late date night with their friends.
The couple drove separately and met each other there. The two had bowled together with their friends, had dinner, and reportedly had a good evening.
Bowling.
Bowling's
fun.
Bowling for bubbles.
For dollars. Roxanne went home right around midnight.
She was going to turn into a pumpkin. Her carriage was about to...
Does she have a glass slipper?
Yeah, she's beautiful. In the short time that Roxanne was home, she hopped into her comfy PJs and got all... She was like, I'm done. We partied. We hung out. I'm going to get home. It's February.
Sounds really pleasant,
I'm going to
actually.
get in some pajamas. Mm-hmm.
Terry would leave the bowling alley and go home about 45 minutes later. And then when Terry arrived home, he found a horror scene.
Literally. His wife, Roxanne, whom he had just spent the evening with, lie in the kitchen of the couple's home, lifeless in a pool of blood, wearing her comfy pajamas. Not only was she lifeless, she was murdered in a pretty brutal way.
Roxanne's throat was sliced and she was beaten on the head with a pan from the kitchen, a frying pan, so hard that it broke the handle off the pan.
Oh my God. Terry Wood got home, like we said, and saw this, and he called 911 at 1:18 in the morning. The medical examiner's findings showed that Roxanne's throat had been cut post-mortem, meaning that the frying pan knock on her head is what actually killed her, and then the person slit her throat with a fillet.
You know, you got to make sure, right? Just
Jesus Christ.
But it sounds like the murderer had been through this before and someone lived. We'll get to that later.
A fillet knife had been used and was never found, although the sheath to the knife was at the scene. But they were not able to lift anything from the sheath. No prints.
No fingerprints?
No information.
The case went cold quickly. Although a small amount of evidence was taken, there simply were no leads to go on.
Of course, Terry, the husband, her husband, is the only one in the spotlight because the spouse is always in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
It was it was such a small window. It was 45 minutes between when she left and he got home.
He wasn't there.
What are the fucking chances of that? 45 minutes of alone time and she gets murdered. Terry's obviously, he's a suspect because...
Of course.
There's nobody else to...
So this is where things get a little bit weird. He did talk to the authorities for a little bit. And then he decided, you know what? I need to get an attorney.
Goddamn right, you get an attorney. Don't even talk to him first. You got, you know what? You can't win. So we watch shows. I listen to True Crime.
But
every
if
day.
you call for an attorney,
So,
immediately you're guilty.
Exactly.
Right? It's
yes.
Like,
And if
you need an
talk,
attorney.
You're guilty. If you don't talk, you're guilty. If you get an attorney,
Oh, you're fucked
you're
if you
fucking
don't get
guilty. If you don't get an attorney, you're super fucking guilty.
fucked.
If you don't want to take the truth test,
With the serum?
the truth serum test, you're fucked. Even though it's 100% unadmissible in court. Oh my God, did you just throw that right on? You know, when the new podcast room comes up, there
Oh, I
will
can't
be
do that.
No throwing of your Modelo beer cans upon my black carpet.
Look, it stood up just upright like it's supposed to.
Upside down, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting new carpet. It's fine. Eventually, we're getting new carpet.
You know what?
So yeah, there's you're screwed. There's no one way to act. If I were to get put in jail for anything, I'd be fucked. I'd be fucked because I'm nervous. Just going by a jail, I get nervous. Boot might have gotten lost when I was in my rant. Did you smoke weed? Oh God, I was about to get scared.
Oh,
It's like, oh no, here comes Mr.
it's
Burns.
just natural laughing at the situation. That's why I always get in trouble.
It's true. We're both so inappropriate. It's not okay. That's why we hide behind microphones. So it is true, though, isn't it? If you every show that you look at, you're just fucked.
Yeah.
If you talk.
If you talk, you're fucked.
All right, we
if
already
you don't
said
talk,
that.
you're fucked.
Terry continued to live in Niles. He didn't move or anything. You know, a lot of people will pick up and move because it's a small fucking town. Like, everybody's being a dick, probably, to him. You know how it is when someone's a suspect. Their life can be ruined.
If he were to have moved, that would make it even worse for him.
Then he's, for sure guilty.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Terry is like one of the strongest human beings in the world because he continued to live in Niles. He never changed his story. He firmly denied having any involvement. There was no evidence of his involvement. And Terry basically believed that the police just simply weren't doing their job.
Well, they were
good
doing it,
enough.
but not doing it right.
Right. Now, I have no claims to follow that up. But from what I understand, there just wasn't enough evidence, and it was back in the 80s. So
Yeah.
what do we have? We didn't have fucking cell phones.
Right. To add to the craziness that Roxanne was murdered in such a small time frame, another woman named Emma Lou McNulty, who lived rather close to the woods, had been found stabbed to death in her home on December 23rd, 1986, just a few months before Roxanne.
Yeah, and not very far away in the same damn... I don't know if it was in the same town, but it was really close.
Mm-hmm.
Close enough to be super suspicious. Unfortunately, or actually fortunately for that case, 3 men were arrested for breaking and entering, robbery, and homicide. Those 3 men were cleared of Roxanne's murder. So it was just a coinky-dink that this lady was also stabbed to death like 3 months before Roxanne was.
Not to mention, the evidence they found, it was DNA, and years later, they would find out that it absolutely was not Terry's DNA.
Sir, the baby is not your baby. What does he say on Maury Povich? The test results are in.
It's not your baby.
It's not your baby.
Oh, thank God.
Good Lord. I was scared for a
It's
minute.
someone else's baby.
The case was reopened in 2001 and again in 2020. This is when they tested Terry's DNA. I don't know which time they tested his DNA, but one of the times they tested Terry, and he was ruled out as a suspect.
They also interviewed around 200 people at this time and came up with nothing.
Nada.
Yep.
Denada.
The,
Zilch.
the DNA evidence was
Zippo.
also entered into CODIS and didn't return any hits.
Not even like a weed hit. A $15,000 reward was raised by Roxanne's husband and her family to bring forth any information on the case.
Crime Stoppers also aired a recreation of the events that happened at the Woods home that night in hopes to bring light onto the case. Didn't work.
It didn't, but what a horrible thing to have to recreate.
Mm.
Gross.
Mm-hmm.
Crime Stoppers also added more money to the reward, but I couldn't find out exactly how much.
For 20 years, the police were convinced that they had their perpetrator. The perp.
Perp.
For 20 years, the police were convinced they had their perp.
I'll skin you alive, you little whore.
What is wrong with you? They simply didn't have what it took to connect the dots.
This is when, this part is so freaking cool. This is when a whole new team was created. Dr. Kirsten of Western Michigan University started assisting on Roxanne's case in January of 2021 when they created the Cold Case Department. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, in
With
conjunction.
the Michigan State Police.
Yes.
MSP. You down with MSP? Yeah, you know me. You down with MSP? Yeah,
Don't mess with
me.
MSP.
No, sir. No,
Roxanne's cold case had 3,000 documents in the file.
Oh, that's a big one. What the students did and everybody at Western Michigan University, they transcribed, scanned, and transferred all of that file into computers. bringing it up to date so that
So
the
they can search
detectives
things.
could, yeah, exactly.
Nice.
They modernized the case. Roxanne's case, one of the first students worked on, giving them sort of an armchair detective team. The students were able to communicate with the detectives and ask questions regarding the case. So they all kind of like brainstormed back and forth.
Very nice.
It's so freaking cool.
Approximately 10,000
10,000?
hours of work had gone into finding Roxanne's killer.
Good Lord, that is so much time.
That's a lot of people.
Her family never gave up the fight, and Terry kept living under suspicion despite being cleared of DNA. It was not until 2021 that investigators received a tip from a reliable and credible source to look into a man named Patrick Gilham.
Gilham.
Gilham!
Patrick
Gilham.
Gilham. Gilham lived 11 miles south of Niles in South Bend, Indiana.
That's right, across the border.
Mm-hmm. Detectives.
Go ahead. After you, sir.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Please.
No, please. No, please. After you.
All right.
I must insist.
Detectives. Detectives had questioned him, finding out that Patrick did frequent Niles for work and that he had friends there and was familiar with where Roxanne lived.
He also, this part cracked me up. He also claimed to only know 2 Roxannes, and neither of
You
them
know what?
lived in Niles.
I don't know any Roxannes. Do you know any Roxannes?
I knew one Roxanne.
You know, I did quite
Actually,
some
2.
time.
I went to high school with one, and then I worked with one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sounds
2.
like a stripper name.
Are you saying I was a stripper?
Sounds
I'm
like
about to start a my only space or whatever to get some Tesla money. I'm just,
okay.
Might be gross, but
Yeah, people jack off to
somebody will pay for it. I
your
hope.
clipping your fingernails, doing whatever you want.
Picking my toe. He's in there denying that he knows Roxanne. But now familial DNA has come into the world of the true crime. The Western Michigan team, they narrowed down the search with that DNA to 3 brothers.
Hey!
No, I'm okay. Hey, thanks. Can you pick up your fucking beer can
Got some
from the
wine
floor? Are you ready now?
Hi.
My God, the
Yeah.
drama.
Yeah, what number are we on?
Oh, well, you're busy, so I'll just do it. God, I do fucking everything. Producer, I have to write it. I have to edit it.
All I have to do
everything.
is masturbate.
Everything. I do it.
I'm almost done.
The DNA being down to 3 people and the tip, just the tip, that they received gave them reason to follow and survey Patrick Gilham.
Detectives are not. I was
You're
busy
so on the
for a
spot.
second. Detectives are now following him under surveillance to try to throw away DNA, like on a coffee cup or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they found it on a cigarette butt.
You want to know why? Because
Why?
the asshole threw his fucking cigarette butt on the
Oh, he's that guy.
forsaken ground. Oh, there are very little things that irk me in this
know.
world. That one irritates the ever-loving shit out of me. But in this case, it was super
It's
helpful
perfect.
that he threw that lippy cigarette butt on the ground with all his saliva on it.
Spittle all over it.
So delicious.
Drooling like a
So good.
like a lab.
I can't hear that in my ear. Gross. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sorry, that freaks me out. You're a jerk. Almost 35 years to the day of Roxanne's death, on Thursday, February 17th, in 2022, at the age of 67, Patrick Gilham was arrested at his home in South Bend, Indiana. Bam, bitch. Got you. We haven't even smoked any
Patrick
weed.
was charged with open murder, breaking and entering of an occupied dwelling, and bond was set at, are you serious?
Yeah.
$500,000.
Yeah. They didn't want him to get out. You want to know why? Because
Why?
he's crafty. He knows all the moves. He's crafty.
Oh, that's a huge bond dollar amount.
He was linked with his DNA, and when investigators were interrogating him, he denied everything numerous times, as one does,
This is weird.
until he didn't deny anymore.
Yeah, until they
Until
they
he
placed a
didn't.
photo of beautiful Roxanne in front of him. His body language said everything that it could possibly have said, and the detectives noticed it.
Patrick's entire body language changed immediately. He started shaking, and he lawyered the fuck up.
Shaking all over.
Oh,
We found out that
shaking
Patrick
all
Gilham
over and
was out
over
on
again.
parole after doing the exact same thing to another woman
Wait,
in
wait.
1980.
Back that up. What?
Yes, he was.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Patrick was out on
oh, boy.
parole.
Yeah.
Because in 1980, he had broken into Maureen Farag's house in Gary, Indiana. By the way, the people in Gary, Indiana,
They're the nicest people.
don't listen to what people say about that town. We had the best experience there. Anyways, Maureen was attacked by Patrick, but impressively survived, and she had pressed charges against him.
He was sent to prison for that attack. He was imprisoned for only 6 years of the 14 years that he was sentenced to. Well, you know,
Okay,
gotta
well,
make space for the weed smokers.
of course, because they're just so horrific. Patrick went to Niles 6 freaking weeks after being let out on parole, and that's when he had that time to murder Roxanne.
He made a plea deal with prosecutors in which he pled no contest to second-degree murder charges.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Again, the system fucking fails us. Again and again and again.
Oh, I promise to be good. Thank you. Thank God.
Fucking
Now I can
Christ.
go kill her, finally.
Patrick claims that he does not remember killing Roxanne because of his substance abuse when he was younger.
Oh, of course, he'd say
Yeah.
something stupid like that.
So-
Patrick was sentenced on April 25th. He will serve 25 to 50 years in prison.
The hope being that he croaks in his cell.
You know, maybe somebody will put a little something in his butt.
Bust a cap in his
In
ass.
in his
Oh,
J pocket.
we learned about the J pocket this week.
Yes. We get to bring that up.
Fun science facts, you guys.
Yeah, look it up. We don't need to explain it to you.
It just has something to do with your rectum
Yeah.
and
Damn
sneaking
near killed
things
him.
into jail. So this guy's going to be 90 when the sentence is completed. So that's why I'm saying maybe he'll croak in jail.
Not only were all of Roxanne's family at the court to see Patrick go down, but Mr. Farag was there too.
His wife had since died, but the damage that Patrick caused their family, he was there to watch him pay too. Because she was the lady that he attacked the first time, but didn't kill, and that's who he got out of jail on parole
You're
for.
right. Your Highness, I'm going
What?
to read this next section, but it's just so stupid.
I
Okay.
fucking hate people. Okay.
You want to hear it?
I have a mixed feelings about the following, about allowing the prisoner to say anything. I think the family should be allowed. I think the prisoner should be stuck with his eyes open, forced open, looking at the people. He has to look them in the eyes, but he doesn't get to say anything.
Nope.
But that's not how it goes.
Nope. Okay.
So,
So here's what this douchebag says.
motherfucker.
This is Gilham. He addresses the families.
Sorry, sack of motherfucking shit that he is.
Yeah, so he says, I'm very sorry. I can't believe I did what I did. I pray for them every night. I am so sorry.
Bullshit.
I just hope that sometime in the future, with God's help, that they can start to forgive me. And to my family, that I'm sorry that I disgraced. I am so sorry. Oh. You know what? I feel pretty good about
Do you
everything.
feel the
Yeah,
Lord in your
yeah,
heart nuggets right now? What about
Yeah.
your sack nuggets?
Do you
feel the Lord in your nuts?
I felt it first in my sack nuggets. No, I feel it in my heart.
Do you know this? He was crying while he said,
Oh, was he really?
Bull fucking shit, you're sorry.
That's some pretty good acting.
Bull fucking
Yeah.
shit, you're sorry.
I can kill people.
You are
and then-
not sorry. And also, you don't get to find God now. You already killed somebody, motherfucker.
Yeah.
To a reporter, Roxanne's brother would go on to say, I love this. It seems people like him tend to find Jesus in prison. Don't bother looking because the devil will be the only one greeting you.
Pretty much.
Bam. Thank you,
That
Roxanne's
sums
brother.
it up pretty well.
Oh, I found Jesus because I got caught. No.
As far as the cold case detectives go, they will be comparing other cold cases to see if Patrick may be connected or involved in any other homicides.
Yeah. So I think they're doing that right now while we're talking.
I know
Wait,
they are.
it's Sunday. No, maybe not today.
Yeah,
but
they're-
well, you never know.
Kids at universities, they'd go around the
They've
clock.
asked for the public's help in connecting Patrick to more crimes because, you know what we always say, you know those weren't the only 2 crimes he did. Those were the only 2 he got caught for. That's the only 2 he got a patty smack for. Give me your patty.
Ow. Jesus.
Don't
Why do you
rape
hit me?
and kill people. Now get out on the street.
Why'd you hit
You're
me
fine.
so hard? That hurt.
God.
Well, in this case, Roxanne's obituary had the cause of death. You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, that's
don't like
not
that.
something that happens
No.
now. Like, they barely say
Oh,
that the person
use,
even died anymore.
they
They're
use
like,
colorful
oh,
words.
yeah, it's all rainbowy and Fruit Loopy and unicorns and glitter.
not stabbed to death, not shot by a
She
rando.
didn't just know she died in the hospital of cancer with hospice at her side. Nothing like
You
that.
can't say that.
No, of course not. So I think maybe because it wasn't solved that they were, I don't know, maybe it was just a sign of the day. I didn't look up other obituaries of the time to see if it was just a common thing that they did back then.
So
we won't know. It's a waiting game.
code for suicide is died very unexpectedly.
They don't put that in obituaries either.
Died very unexpectedly. They won't say suicide.
I thought you meant code 4. Like that was the name.
Code
4
4? Oh.
equals died unexpectedly.
Code for
You've been
suicide.
listening to okay, I may have been on a few scanner pages lately.
Code 4.
Code 4.
It's a code 4?
What's a code 4?
Oh.
Oh, that's what a code 4 is. I get it.
You crack me up. You still here?
I'm kind of embarrassed. Just kidding. I'm not. Roxanne is survived by her parents, her husband, a sister, 3 brothers, 2 half-brothers, and her grandparents.
Your Highness. I'm about to get a couple more stepbrothers. I'm not okay with that.
Why'd you have to fucking remind me? You know what? We're about to inherit a couple more dogs, too. It's fine. It's just the way the world works.
This is
Goes
it's
around,
my
comes
life.
fucking... I can't believe I cried when I found out. Do I have daddy issues or what?
I don't know what you have.
I
but
cried.
we just
But it's like, why? Can't you guys just live together? Isn't that good enough?
dude, I agree
Can't
with
that just
you.
be fine? You know what? If you croak before I do, it's going to be me and a min pin. Yeah. Let's finish the story.
Interestingly,
Oh,
I just really wished that someone, as I was making stupid decisions, would have stepped in and said, you know, brah,
we've talked about
this is a really bad
It
idea.
doesn't work. It
You
doesn't
can't.
work. Your very best friend could have told you, "Don't do this. This is a bad idea," and you'll argue with them because you're in love. You're in love.
Yes,
You
in
don't
love.
see the fucking red flags flying
You
at
don't
you
see it.
at 862 miles per hour.
don't
You're like, I
see
think
it.
you're wrong, best friend. Your brother.
you know he's
Your
right.
sibling could come up to you. Oh, you don't know it. You're
Oh,
in denial. And then later you're like, yeah, I should have probably listened to him. But we all know we wouldn't have listened in that time. Very few people actually take heed. Oh, let's finish the story.
Look at me.
Well, it took years. It is so good to see that cold cases are being reworked in Michigan with the help of Western Michigan University.
Oh, this is genius. They enrolled the help of the college students, gave them hands-on experience in the field.
Nothing is better than just jumping in and doing it.
Yeah.
They get to work hand in hand, side by side. I think it's fantastic.
And you know what's even better for those students is they saw something come out of their
The very
efforts.
first efforts that they did.
This is fantastic.
So I bet we're going to have more stories that are
I hope so.
cold cases that are solved.
Yep.
After 35 freaking years, this guy has been wandering around South Bend, Indiana, free. After did that hurt?
A little bit. It actually kind of scratched it. It was itching. It felt good. We will leave you with a quote from the Michigan State Police.
The MSP 5th District Headquarters and Western Michigan University partnered and collaborated on this case through the university's cold case program. This program provided organization and informational support made up of college students and its director, Dr. Ashlyn Kirsten. This was the first case in which the two entities formed the collaborative effort. The investigation encompassed over 10,000 hours of investigative work by the MSP and its Special Investigation Section. Additional significant support was provided in this case by the MSP 5th District Fugitive Team, Technical Services Unit, and the South Bend Police Department's Patrol and Investigative Bureau. And with that, Miss Roxanne's case has been solved. Hey, Boo.
Hey.
Do you have a happy ending this week?
Oh, I have the happiest of happy endings. Finally. Ow. Why do you do that?
Just to get bad reviews, because
Okay.
I treat you so horribly.
We have a really cool band that, goddamn, I'm bleeding. It's called Low Phase.
Low Phase is Marley Ferguson, vocals and guitar. Caleb Waldvogel, lyrics, vocals, and guitar. Miles Ferguson, drums. John Bomer, vocals and bass. This is the song Doctor by Low Phase. Go check them out on Bandcamp and tell them that we sent you. Peace out.
Doctor told me keep getting thinner. All my friends are out of town for the summer. Great big words I'll understand by winter. Plant a garden when it starts all over. On a string I recognize each moment. Catapults into a deep depression. Sunken eyes that fantasize go silent. Honest truth is that I'm just too tired. It's not a destination, a fall from grace, honest mistake, yeah. I'm sinking faster than I need. It's not a conversation, it's not invitation. It's slipping out from underneath my nights. Got it on their own this time. Too ungrateful. I'm sinking faster than I need. It's not a conversation, it's not an invitation. You made a big announcement for all who's tall enough to reach the mountains. Admire nothing but the main attraction. Admire selfishly and with no reason. 'Cause I can't sleep with all these words in motion. And when I do, it's like they never happen. I wanna know my body better. I wanna know my body better. No, it's not new. It's not new. No, it's not new. It's not new.
The doctor told me.
Thank you for choosing Michigan Murders and Music. Please rate the show wherever you listen. Michigan Murders and Music is produced by The Boots. Episodes are researched and written by Your Highness. Edited by Your Highness. Views and opinions are the sole stupidity of us and us alone. Don't blame others, please. Listening to this podcast could quite possibly cause major problems to your earballs and definitely will mess up your kids. Permission has been given to us by the bands, and we purchase our music on Bandcamp.com. Support your local music scene and all local music scenes.